Wow, it refuses to change the title. I promise the title is not that. I changed the title. I am not sure why the title is not going away. Well, it fixed part of it. I can't worry about that right now, so I gotta keep moving on. Okay, so it looks to me like the only thing that is connected here is the neck and the necklace, the choker or whatever. Huh. Okay, those are hair bones. So then my question is what did it look like when it did work? So let's find out. Okay, there it still doesn't work. Okay. Okay, there's where it works. And she actually does not have the sandals on yet. Okay. That's interesting. So was it that broke it? I'm not sure. I don't see how that's possible. I'm also not sure what happened to my other saves here because it doesn't make sense. There's no way that I had the tiara on the other two saves. But whatever. So let's see what this looks like. Back it up a little bit. And it looks identical. No, it doesn't either. It's got some kind of blue highlights there. which I know how to do, but I don't know what it means because the majority of this stuff is not translated, so I really don't know what that means. All I can tell is that some of it is highlighted in the blue dots now, whereas I think before it wasn't. Let's just throw the other one back in just to be sure. Okay, I take that back. They're there. I just didn't notice them before. Okay. So then there's literally no difference between this and the other one. MMD and PMX, well, mainly PMX editor or PMD editor, uh, for me anyway, are pretty infamous for things like this. There's always some kind of a random issue that I have no idea how it happens, and the only remedy for it is to just try it again, because I don't know exactly what went wrong, nor do I know how to fix it, even if I did figure out what went wrong. Like, say I found out that, the rest of this head used to be attached, used to be all highlighted in red. Uh, that would be very difficult for me to pull off because the hair, the problem is when you try to highlight, like if I highlighted this, it's going to highlight everything around that body. It penetrates basically. So everything here is going to all get highlighted, and then her entire body would be attached to whatever bone that I attached it to. Like, I don't know how to just say highlight the hair. Actually, I might actually know a way. Maybe I should try that. Okay, so I'm going to explain what I'm going to get ready to attempt. I'm going to try to use the mask option up here. Am I on the right window? Yeah, I am. Okay. So, back to that. Okay, so I'm going to use this mask option here, and it brings up a list of all your parts. And if you unselect them, they disappear, as you can see. So, I will unselect everything, and then find just the pieces that I need, which is probably going to be anything to do with the face. Face, 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 face. Lots of face as her face slowly materializes here. Okay, got to try to hurry this along. I don't need the body. Cheek, okay. And then hair, and hair. And then I don't think I need any of these. What the heck even is that? Oh, something down here is appearing. Oh, okay. Okay. That's her bracers. I think that should be all that I need. So essentially now she's down to just her head and hair. Okay, so now got to make sure I'm on the right bone. I think that I should be. Oops. Using some blender commands here. That doesn't exactly work. Okay, let me look at the transformation window here. So I'm going to try to make sure that this is the proper bone. Still using those blender commands. Blender is another 3D modeling program, in case whoever watches this is not aware. It gets confusing going between different softwares. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, that looks like it's the right bone. So what I need is this bone. That's what attaches her neck. Well, basically it attaches to the neck, which is attached to everything else. So hopefully, in theory, if I connect all of this, it should remedy the problem that I had, I think. Well, let me think about that. No, I don't think it will. I think what's going to happen is her entire head is going to be static to the body, and it's going to follow like a straight board. That's what's going to end up happening. I could be wrong, so we can find out, but that's what I anticipate will happen. That should be everything. Okay, let's see. Here, I will switch to the other window. Okay, it's not switching back properly. Okay, that's weird. But there. Finally got it here. Okay. See this bone. And then yeah, her hair, and it looks like I'm missing part of her neck. As well as a couple other things. But that's beside the point because it looks like it did exactly what I thought it was going to do. So like her hair and everything is going to move like a straight board. So I think that's back to square one really, because I could go through a long process of elimination trying to figure out just exactly what I need to highlight and attach to fix it this way. So I'm going to just go back to square one, unfortunately. And as soon as I remember which one that is. I should probably get rid of the weight tool there. Okay, it seems to work there. Of course, you know the hair actually moves in this particular window like a straight board anyway, so maybe it would have been alright. But I still would have had to have gone back and fixed the things I missed. Let's try to fix it this way anyway. So what I need to do, firstly, actually I'm going to double check, make sure there isn't a version like this right here, where the sandals are already attached. Yeah, and then already the neck is, the head is not working. That's weird. Very strange. So it looks like I have pretty much no choice but to reattach the sandals. Not that big of a deal. It's just a little extra step I was hoping to avoid. So here it's got the wrong tiara on, but that's not a problem. All I gotta do is figure out where that tiara is. And I think it's gonna be one of these last things here. That's kind of curious. Okay, so... Oh, really? It's the first? That's unusual. That's very unusual. Very unusual indeed. Okay, so what we have to do... Let me show what I'm doing here. Okay. Okay, so what I did here is I went back to your main window there, and I go to material, and then I established that these right here are the tiara. So all I have to do is just go ahead and delete these. Oh, I was like, where did delete go? Okay, and then that should have gotten rid of her tiara. And it did. So let me switch back to that view. Alrighty. So no tiara. And then we will try to fix that real quick. Huh. Probably should have moved it. Do I not have one where it's moved? I don't think that I do. Okay, so here's what I will do. Oh, okay. So once again, I'm going to use this method. I think all I should need is the F. Maybe not. Ah, there we go. Now we need to lower that back down on her. I'm going to use the sub view now. And I will show you why here in a second. Okay, let me switch to the sub view. In this view, and I will also use the move tab for some finer movements. It just makes it easier for me to line it up. Oh geez. Apparently it got deselected. Okay. That's actually close. Not quite. Uh, ah. gonna say, I don't remember it looking like that before. Okay, that's just about right, I guess. Except I forgot. Oh, jeez. Alright, so first I have to, let's go back to the regular view. Okay, so first I have to use the weight tab. And I'm going to need to scroll a little bit in here. And I'm going to need her bones back. That's the little bones button down here. It's also up here as well. I believe I need this bone. Ah. And now I think I see the problem. Yep. It took me doing this to figure it out. But I still am not sure how I would have fixed that. I'm not knowledgeable enough in this program to actually figure that out. But I do know what the problem was now. This bone right here is apparently supposed to be connected. If you recall before, there was another little bone here. Basically, this bone went up to here, and then that connected to that bone. Somehow it got separated. I don't know if there's two bones there or not. Actually, it looks like one. But there was two bones. I don't know how that happened, but that's what happened. So therein lies the problem. At any rate, this is what I need to do now. And I'm going to look in the transformation window just to be sure that that is the proper bone. I'm pretty positive it is, but may as well be sure. And it's not. So there's why I look. You never know. Okay, so the bone that was, I figured this out too now. So this bone, here's what happened. I don't know how it happened, but I now know what happened. It was this bone right here got moved down into her neck, and I guess pushed this bone out a little bit into her chest, and that was connected to that, which was connected to the head. So that's how the head got detached, because the bone that connected her head to that got pushed down into her neck somehow. What I'm guessing must have happened is I must have somehow grabbed that bone when I went to put the tiara down. So I lowered that bone down with the tiara and pushed it down into her neck, detaching her head from her body. That must have been what happened. Okay, so this should work then. That's what that means. Okay, and as you can see, that is already attached to her head, which is what we want to see. Oh, well, this is an interesting development. I was not anticipating that. Somehow her tiara is already attached. Huh. Imagine that. Well, so all we need to do is simply move that down. Back down to where we had it. And by the way, I am perfectly aware that this is not perfect positioning. I'm not very good with these things. I do have the eye for it. I don't know how to fix it. That's the problem. Like, I can see that it is very slightly too far to the right, but what happens is this goes inside of her head, and then this comes out to the side of this head, or to that side of her head, rather. So then it looks off balanced. Like I can balance the center of this in her face for better symmetry, but then when I do that, the bands of the tiara aren't balanced. So to look right on her head, that's about as close as I can get it. I imagine that would come down to further tailoring that piece to fit to her head. So it probably needs, I'm going to guess, shrunk down just a slight bit so that it would wrap around her head more accurately when it's centered. But for now, this will do. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the transformation window, or transform window. Okay, there's transform, and looks like those bones are still lined up. That's good. And she's not leaving her head behind. So it looks like that fixed it. Now all I gotta do is put her sandals back on, and this model is finally finished. Okay, got to find her shoes. Well, you know what? Actually, I'm going to save that first. I think that would be a good idea. In case, for whatever reason, the shoes mess something up, because you never know. I'm telling you, almost anything can happen for what seems like to me very inexplicable reasons. Like, I have no idea. Some of the things that happen on here, I have no idea how it's possible. It just happens. Let's get back to the regular view here. And I will show you how I do this. Similar to the tiara, I'm going to go back to mask, and I'm going to find the shoes, which should be right here. Yes, they are. I'm going to unselect everything, reselect the shoes, and let's turn these bones off so I don't displace her bones. Get the vertices and the face highlighted. I assume the F stands for face. I assume this because it's basically what it is in Blender. So I could be wrong. It's possible. It has been known to happen. but that's my assumption. Okay, we will get her back. And then I'm going to do this one at a time, simply because her feet are wider than the shoes are put together. So I've got to throw them over here one at a time. Here's what I will do. I will first flank her feet with them. Kind of get them into view. And now we're going to go back to sub view. And we're going to go down to her feet. And first we're going to look at it straight on. Almost seems like it's hovering slightly. Could be my imagination. But anyway, this needs to go slightly over, and then probably slightly down. That's not down. No, a little bit more up. Oh geez, I also forgot to attach it again. I wonder if they're magically attached just like the tiara this time. Let's see. Okay, for these, I learned that I believe I had to attach it to this bone. Where's this bone? I better double check before I mess up. So just real quick, I'm going to go to the transformation or transform window. Keep calling it that. And I'm just going to see what each one of those bones do. Now, on second thought, I believe I will. Oh wow, that is attached. But attached to what? I'm not even sure which bone is highlighted. Oh, well, that's fascinating. It attached the right shoe to the left foot. Okay. Well, that's not what I wanted, but but I do think that's the right bone. Uh, After I looked in the transform window rather, um, I do think that's the bone I want to attach it to. Let me check it again here. Really, I would think that either one of these would work. Either this or that. But I'm actually going to go with this, I believe. I'm going to try something different real quick. I think I already got that shoe. No, actually it probably should have came forward a little bit. So I probably need to readjust that anyways. In which case I will just go ahead and attach them here. Okay. Alrighty. And that's probably going to be good enough. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Not perfect, I guess, but I think good enough, I guess. Okay, so we're going to go back to transform view. And I'm going to test these shoes out. Excuse me. Okay. Okay. So we pick up her foot, shake it around. Seems to move with her foot. Same thing with the other one. Just want to make sure that it is moving with her foot properly and not like only half of it moved and half of it stayed behind or something crazy like that. And it looks like it's working properly. with that, I will go ahead and save this version. And then, just for good measure, I'm going to go ahead and load her up into MMD, Miku Miku Dance. Switch this view to Miku Miku. Okay. And this is Miku Miku Dance, which is what this model is being created for. It's just a 3D animation software. I'm not sure of its entire capabilities. I've barely dabbled with it, but it seems like it's pretty capable 3D animation software. It's not quite like Blender. That's more of like an anime type of 3D model, which I mean Blender can do as well, but Blender is also able to render like uh, super realistic things, whereas I don't think that Miku Miku Dance is capable of doing those kind of things. I could be wrong, but I think it's typically just for like animation, anime type deal. Uh, okay. Now, I'm not using the right textures or anything either, so don't get too alarmed at the textures of her clothing and everything. I'm just basically piecing her together, making sure that she functions as proper as possible, making sure that she's not leaving any parts behind or anything stuck, to each other or something crazy like that. Leaving her hair behind, etc., etc. I will just load some random motion. At least I hope that's a motion. Okay, I don't think that it was. Okay. There's still things that I'm trying to figure out that are pretty much out of my control until I can figure that out or figure them out. I'm not sure there is anything you can do about it. I would assume there is, but just for example, her hair goes through her body, as you can see. I'm thinking that has something to do with the physics. It's not colliding with her body properly. So, like, it's not reading that this is a collision right here. So, it's just going through it. I'm not sure if there's a way to fix that or not, though. I only say that because I noticed it's certainly not a problem that is isolated to me. I've seen a lot of models out there and motions out there where they do the exact same thing. Their hair goes crazy, goes through their body, all these kinds of things. So I'm not so sure that it's my only my problem. I think it's possible that it could just be something that happens on MMD. Hi.
I see her neck is working properly.
Yeah, I was just testing it out on MMD.
Hmm.
And here she's been officially speared by her hair.
There's not much you can do about hair physics.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. I'm not sure that there's anything I can do about that. I suspect it has something to do with the physics, and it's not reading it as a collision. Because it's weird though, because it does bounce here and there. Like sometimes it'll bounce off her arm, sometimes it goes through her arm. So I'm not sure. It could just be like literally right when I said that, it just did it. Bounced off her arm and then went right through her arm. That was a perfect example. So yeah, I'm not sure that it's something I can fix, but if it is something that you can fix, it's got to have something to do with the physics, something about how it's not reading the collision properly. So something about the physics may need adjusted. That's just something I'm going to have to play with at a later date. I think that's it for now because she is working as properly as I can get her. Okay, that's it for now. I'm gonna grab something to eat and probably go on to Paladin Dailies. Yep. So taking a break for now.